Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboys Nation, grab your hats, hold on to your seats, and prepare for the kind of news that doesn't just shake the NFL, it flips the entire script upside down. This is not a drill, and it's not a rumor. It's a seismic, earth-shattering moment in Dallas Cowboys history. DK Metcalf, the towering, lightning-fast, game-changing wide receiver, has officially landed in Dallas in what can only be described as a blockbuster trade that's sending shockwaves through the NFL. This isn't just a signing or a small roster tweak. This is a legacy-defining move for both Metcalf and the Cowboys franchise. The kind of move that could alter the trajectory of this team, reignite their championship dreams, and have every fan from Dallas to Dubai screaming with excitement. So, let's dive into this massive story, unpack the details, explore the reactions, and figure out what this means for Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, and the future of America's team. Buckle up because this is going to be one wild ride. Let's start with a headline. DK Metcalf, one of the most physically dominant wide receivers in the NFL, is now a Dallas Cowboy. This isn't the kind of news that trickles out quietly during the offseason. No, this is the kind of bombshell that explodes across social media, dominates sports talk radio, and has analysts scrambling to rewrite their NFC power rankings. Just 24 hours ago, the idea of Metcalf leaving Seattle seemed like a pipe dream. He was the cornerstone of the Seahawks offense, the go-to guy ever since Russell Wilson's departure. Seattle built their passing game around him, feeding him targets, designing deep ball plays to showcase his speed, and making him the face of their franchise. Fans in the Pacific Northwest couldn't imagine him in any other jersey. But the NFL is a cold, hard business, and loyalty often takes a back seat to strategy. When the Cowboys saw an opportunity to land a superstar like Metcalf, they didn't hesitate. They went all in. So, how did this happen? Let's break it down. The Cowboys, under the ever-ambitious Jerry Jones, have been itching to make a splash. This is a team that's been knocking on the door of playoff success for years, only to stumble in critical moments. Their offense, while talented, has lacked that extra gear in big games. Sure, CeeDee Lamb is a superstar in his own right, and Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback who can sling it with the best of them, but something's been missing. Whether it's been a lack of explosive playmakers or an inability to dominate in the red zone, Dallas has felt the pressure to elevate their game. With an aging core and a narrowing championship window, the front office decided it was time to make a bold move. And when I say bold, I mean bold. We're talking about a trade package that reportedly includes a first-round draft pick, a conditional pick in 2026, and a key rotational defensive lineman. On top of that, Dallas took on the massive financial burden of a new contract for Metcalf, one that places him among the top 3 highest-paid wide receivers in the league. This wasn't a bargain bin signing or a low-risk gamble. This was Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' brain trust saying, "We're done playing it safe. The time to win is now." Let's talk about the fit, because oh boy, does DK Metcalf in a Cowboys uniform sound like a match made in football heaven. At 6'4", 235 pounds, with 4.3-second 40-yard dash speed and the physique of a linebacker, Metcalf isn't just a wide receiver, he's a walking mismatch. He's the kind of player who bullies cornerbacks at the line of scrimmage, skies over defenders in the red zone, and demands double coverage on every single snap. For years, Dallas has relied on homegrown talent like Dez Bryant, Amari Cooper, and now CeeDee Lamb to carry their passing game. But while those players are elite, none of them bring the sheer physical dominance that Metcalf does. Line him up opposite Lamb, and you've got a nightmare scenario for defensive coordinators. Suddenly, you're no. One cornerback can't just lock onto Lamb. Safeties have to respect Metcalf's deep threat ability, which opens up the underneath routes for tight ends like Jake Ferguson and running backs like Tony Pollard. And for Dak Prescott? This is a get-out-of-jail-free card. When the pocket collapses and the pressure is on, he can chuck it in Metcalf's direction, And more often than not, that ball is coming down in his hands. It's a game changer, plain and simple. The addition of Metcalf doesn't just improve the Cowboys' offense, it completely redefines it. Think about the geometry of the field for a second. With Metcalf's ability to stretch defenses vertically, linebackers and safeties can't creep up to stop the run. With his physicality at the catch point, you've got a guy who can win contested balls in tight coverage. And with his speed, he's a threat to take any slant or crossing route to the house. This creates opportunities for everyone else. CeeDee Lamb, who's already one of the best route runners in the game, will see softer coverage because defenses can't afford to leave Metcalf in single coverage. Tight ends and slot receivers will find more space in the middle of the field. Even the running game benefits, as defenses have to account for the deep ball and can't stack the box as aggressively. For whoever's calling plays, whether it's Kellen Moore or someone else, this is a dream scenario. You've got endless flexibility in route combinations, play designs, and game plans. Want to go deep? Metcalf's your guy. Need a clutch catch on 3rd and 6? He's got you covered. Red zone struggles? Good luck stopping him on a fade route. It's the kind of addition that makes an offense unpredictable and explosive. But it's not just about X's and O's. There's a psychological boost that comes with a move like this. Bringing in a superstar like DK Metcalf sends a clear message to the locker room, the fans, and the rest of the NFL. The Cowboys are serious about winning now. No more excuses, no more maybe next year. This is a team that's been criticized for coming up short in the playoffs, for lacking the killer instinct to close out big games. Adding Metcalf changes that narrative. It's a signal to Dak Prescott that he's got the weapons to succeed. It's a signal to CeeDee Lamb that he's got a running mate who can share the spotlight and elevate the offense. And for the fans, it's a reason to believe again. After nearly 3 decades without a Super Bowl, Cowboys Nation has been starving for a move like this, a bold, aggressive, all-in bet that screams championship ambition. It's the kind of move that gets players fired up, gets fans chanting, "How about them Cowboys?" and puts the rest of the league on notice. Of course, with a move this big, there are questions and risks. Let's not sugarcoat it, this trade comes with some serious stakes. First, let's talk about the cost. Giving up a first-round pick, a conditional pick in 2026, and a rotational defensive lineman is no small price to pay. Draft capital is the lifeblood of building a sustainable roster, and parting with a first-rounder is always a gamble. Add in the fact that Metcalf's new contract reportedly includes over $100 million in guaranteed money, and you've got a massive financial commitment. The Cowboys are already navigating a tight salary cap situation, with looming extensions for stars like Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, not to mention potential decisions about Dak Prescott's long-term future. Critics are already pointing out the risks. Metcalf has a history of nagging injuries, and his emotional, fiery playing style can sometimes cross the line into penalties or distractions. Is he worth the investment? That's the million-dollar question, or in this case, the $100 million question. Then there's the question of chemistry. Dak Prescott and DK Metcalf have never played together before, and building timing, trust, and rhythm between a quarterback and a new receiver takes time. Metcalf is known for his explosive plays, but he's also a high-energy, emotional player who wears his heart on his sleeve. That passion can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it makes him a fierce competitor who can rally his teammates. On the other, it can lead to moments of frustration or clashes with coaches and teammates. Dak, by contrast, is known for his even-keeled leadership and steady demeanor. Can these two personalities mesh? Will Metcalf's intensity complement Dak's calm, or could it create tension? And what about CeeDee Lamb? He's been the unquestioned WR1 in Dallas, but Metcalf's arrival could shift the pecking order. Will Lamb embrace having another superstar in the receiver room, or will there be growing pains as they figure out how to share targets? These are the kinds of dynamics that can make or break a season, and training camp will be critical in sorting them out. Let's not forget about Mike McCarthy either. The Cowboys head coach has faced his fair share of criticism for the team's postseason struggles, and now he's got a new challenge, integrating a superstar like Metcalf into an already talented offense. McCarthy's ability to manage egos, balance the play calling, and maximize the potential of this new-look receiving core will be under the microscope. Can he design an offense that gets the most out of both Metcalf and Lamb? Can he keep the locker room focused and united? These are big questions, and the answers will start to emerge as the season approaches. For now, though, one thing is clear: McCarthy has been handed a golden opportunity. With Metcalf in the fold, there's no excuse for this offense to underperform. Now, let's talk about the fan reaction, because Cowboys Nation is absolutely losing its mind right now. The moment this news broke, social media exploded. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. It's flooded with Cowboys fans going wild. We're talking jersey swaps with Metcalf in the iconic silver and blue, highlight reels of his insane one-handed catches, and memes comparing this trade to the Cowboys' blockbuster moves of the past. Fans are already dreaming of Metcalf wearing no. 14, strutting into a T&T stadium and breaking out a touchdown dance that brings the house down. The excitement isn't just limited to Dallas either. Former players, analysts, and even rival fan bases are weighing in. Some are calling this a power move that gives the Cowboys the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. Others are skeptical, labeling it a desperate attempt by a team that's fallen short too many times. But whether you're a believer or a doubter, one thing is undeniable: this move is electric. It's the kind of news that makes the NFL fun, that gets fans buzzing, and that sells tickets. Let's talk about what this means for Dak Prescott specifically. The Cowboys quarterback has been under intense scrutiny in recent years, especially after some disappointing playoff performances. Fair or not, the narrative around Dak is that he needs to prove he can win the big one. Well, guess what? He just got a massive upgrade. With Metcalf on the field, Dak has a weapon that few quarterbacks ever get to throw to. Imagine the possibilities: third and long, with Dak scrambling out of pressure, looking downfield, and finding Metcalf streaking past a cornerback for a 70-yard touchdown. Or a goal line situation where Metcalf goes up over a helpless defender for a game-winning score. These are the kinds of plays that can define a season, and Dak now has the tools to make them happen. This trade isn't just about Metcalf. It's about giving Dak the best possible chance to silence his critics and lead this team to a deep playoff run. And what about CeeDee Lamb? The young star has already established himself as one of the NFL's elite receivers, with his silky smooth route running and knack for making big plays. But with Metcalf in the mix, Lamb's job gets easier. Defenses can't double-team both of them, which means Lamb will see more single coverage than ever before. That's a scary thought for opposing secondaries. At the same time, there's a potential challenge here. Lamb has been the focal point of the passing game, and now he'll have to share the spotlight with another alpha receiver. Can he handle that? Based on everything we've seen from Lamb so far, his work ethic, his leadership, his competitiveness, the answer is probably yes. This could be the start of a dynamic duo that terrorizes defenses for years to come. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. This trade doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl. Nothing does. The NFL is unpredictable, and there are a million variables that can derail even the most talented teams. Injuries, bad luck, coaching miscues, any of those could trip up the Cowboys. But what this trade does is change the equation. It upgrades a position of need in the most dramatic way possible. It gives Dallas a new identity, more aggressive, more physical, more explosive. It energizes a fan base that's been waiting for a reason to believe. And it puts the rest of the NFL on notice. The Cowboys are coming, and they're not messing around. So what's next? Training camp will be must-watch TV. All eyes will be on Dak and Metcalf as they start to build chemistry. Fans will be dissecting every rep, every route, every throw. How quickly can they get on the same page? Can McCarthy find the right balance in his play calling? Will the offense look as unstoppable as it does on paper? These are the questions that will dominate the conversation as the season approaches. And when Week 1 rolls around, you can bet a T&T Stadium will be rocking. Picture it, the lights flashing, the crowd roaring, and DK Metcalf trotting onto the field in that iconic star helmet. It's the kind of moment that gives you chills. For Cowboys fans, this is a moment to savor. It's been a long time since the team made a move this bold, this exciting, this big. For nearly 3 decades, you've waited for the right quarterback, the right coach, the right roster. Well, guess what? The wait might just be over. With DK Metcalf in Dallas, everything has changed. The NFC better watch out, because the Cowboys are loaded, they're hungry, and they're ready to make some noise. So, Cowboys Nation, let me hear you. How about them Cowboys?